Saint Lucia will forever be grateful to our friends in the European Union for this incredible gift. The EU funded both the construction and equipping of this facility to the tune of EC $167 million. We welcome His Excellency Ambassador Michael Barford, head of the EU delegation to Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, to address us.
I think that's fine. Thank you. Her Excellency, the Governor General, Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Ministers, the King family, and it's a great honor to share a hospital name with you today. Ambassadors, distinguished guests, I'm extremely pleased that we've gotten this far. Today's ceremony signifies a major milestone in a long journey from an idea to the construction of this state-of-the-art hospital, and soon to the full functioning and operation of health services for the people of Saint Lucia, the wider Caribbean, and beyond. I dare say that the hardware is sometimes the soft and easy part, whereas the software can in fact be a harder nut to crack. Once the equipment is installed and staff trained, the human and financial resources should follow swiftly in the coming month. This will no doubt be a very demanding exercise for the government, which must make sure that it matches the legitimate demands of St. Lucian citizens for good public services, in this case, healthcare. The process has been a partnership between the European Union and the government of St. Lucia. However, recently, as we look towards the opening of the Owen King EU Hospital and its future, we have to welcome the partnership developed with France, and the French ambassador, Eric de la Moussée, is here, and the French region of Martinique, and the Pan Health Organization, PAHO. These new partners have a role to play in the continued capacity building and training of health professionals in the use and maintenance of the equipment and the adoption of new healthcare practices in critical areas such as sterilization, radiology, and others. As we come to the end of the EU-funded project in the next few months, these partnerships will become even more important. The EU has made a tremendous contribution to the health sector, both primary and secondary healthcare, well above 40 million euros. I believe that was just translated into well over 160 million EC dollars. Nevertheless, I encourage the government to take a collaborative and synergistic approach with donor agencies to address the issues around sustainability, continued capacity building of healthcare workers, and continued quality improvement of health services standards and health services. The economic viability of the Owen King EU Hospital is central to the sustainability of the hospital and quality of the services available. The EU is currently supporting the government to develop strategies and policies for the sustainable financing of the health sector, and I know that the issue of economic viability of this hospital is foremost in the minds of bureaucrats and lay persons alike. The health sector is often viewed as a burden on a given country, as it requires too much from the government's treasury, whilst contributing little to the fund. However, the quality of the facility, equipment, and staff of the Owen King EU Hospital holds enormous potential for the hospital to earn considerable income and to be self-sustaining. I encourage the government to be creative in its approach to income generation of the hospital. Public-private partnerships, PPP, and service-level agreements have proven successful in other countries to open up the healthcare market and make it attractive also for insurance companies and for tourists. In my view, whatever options government choose should not add an undue burden or restrict access to secondary health services to those in most need. Finally, the state-of-the-art hospital in Saint Lucia bodes well for the regionalization of healthcare. No one country in the region can offer all the health services needed by its people. Similarly to St. Lucians accessing available health services in Martinique, it should not be surprising that citizens in other Caribbean countries will access health services in St. Lucia. I believe that the time has come for the government of St. Lucia and the OECS to take a definitive step to identify the specialization in which St. Lucia can develop as a center of excellence in healthcare as part of a future regional network. This is even more critical as the region faces disease burdens from non-communicable diseases and new emerging or partially new emerging threats from dengue, chikungunya, Zika viruses. St. Lucia will scale up its health management information system with the support of the European Union. Consequently, I believe that St. Lucia should also be in a good position to take the lead in discussions around the regionalization of the health information management, as this is critical for linking people, health services, and health services payment for the provision of cross-border health care. We encourage efficient and proactive project management, always trying to anticipate what can possibly go wrong and address it urgently. The EU will continue where we still can to support during these final stages to equipping, transitioning, and opening the Owen King EU Hospital. In short, on behalf of the European Union, I am really proud of our 40 million euro contribution to this magnificent hospital and being part of its name. I even saw the bushes here. Did you see those? That's very nice. For the sake of the people of St. Lucia, the government must now make sure that the hospital is opened within a few months. The government also needs to ensure, with the help from the EU and other partners such as France, the region of Martinique and Pajo, that the hospital has a sustainable future, hopefully also benefiting St. Lucia's neighbors in the region. I can't wait to take part in this opening. All you need, Prime Minister, is to give me the date and I'll be here. In fact, there ain't no mountain high enough to keep me away from the opening. And I know that the performance on that occasion is something to look forward to. It will be second to none. So what's keeping us back? I have one final question for you all, though. The hospital staff, do they also sing like that during open heart surgery? All I have to say is that must have a curative effect. Thank you very much.